I am so excited. I feel like it's been a hot minute since me and Cheyenne have done a Zoom and chatted. I absolutely love having you on, so I am just so excited to have you here. So, girlfriend, if you want to go ahead, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit of your story, and we'll get started.
Okay, awesome. I literally was just stuffing my face with applesauce. So, real life here, you guys. So, if y'all don't know me, hello. My name's Chyann Nickison. I'm doing this on gallery view just because I like seeing all y'all's faces. But my name's Chyann Nickison. I'm almost presidential diamond. I'm seriously so tired of shouting out that I'm triple. Obviously, I'm thankful for it, but I'm so over it. So, I'm almost presidential. I joined this business October of 2017. So, I think it's been over 2.5 years. It's definitely been around there. I just joined as a broke college student. I don't know if I said this, but I'm 21. So I joined right after I turned 19. And I just was like a broke college student. I just truthfully wanted extra money and like time. Like I'm not really an extrovert, but it was just more or less like not even being able to spend time with my family, if that makes sense. Like I was always working. I had 3 jobs. I was taking 18 credit hours. So like I just was simply busy. So I just wanted extra time. And obviously 2.5 years later, I am now triple where our team is going presidential, and I've never had debt thanks to this company. I'm in my second apartment. I'm about to move into a new house, which I'm super excited about. I'm also manifesting it, but same difference. I have a cat named Keto that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I just bought my dream car. So that's basically my story in a nutshell.
I love it. And girl, I feel you. I went double right after you went triple. And I get so tired of saying it. I'm like, guys, like triple needs to happen. So I feel you, girl. Okay, so we're so excited to hear all of your distributor signing tips. We want all of the goodies, so don't hold back. So first off, so I know you primarily work Instagram, right? Okay, perfect. So, what are you doing to attract your distributors? I know you still do post on Facebook, but I do know it's mainly Instagram. So, are you mainly posting? Are you messaging, doing post to post? Like, how are you attracting the distributors to start with?
So I definitely do get majority of my distributors from Instagram, but I do definitely get some off of Facebook. I say that I work both, but like I really do, but I definitely get more off of Instagram. Like some days it's both. I mean, I don't know. It's weird, but I post on both platforms, of course. But how I've recently been doing it, I posted a status on my Facebook. Um, I want to say it was the 7th or the 8th of this month, and it literally got over 100 comments. And I do not know how it happened. I just literally copy and pasted a post from a girl on my team, and it basically was like, if you want to make money and extra cash on the side, comment below. Like it said something like that, and it has like 117 comments, and I was like, okay. So I've just been messaging those people. And I know kind of going about this, I don't want to like skip ahead any questions or anything, but I just do host to post on Instagram. So my mindset is 1st through the 15th, enroll as many freaking DTs as you can. Through the end of the month, all customers. Obviously, I am still enrolling customers now, and then through the end of the month, I will still enroll distributors. But that's just how I like train my mindset is like DTs now, LCs later. And that's just kind of what I've been doing. I've just been messaging for host to post on Instagram. Just today, I literally was just following up with people, and I got 12 host to post up on Instagram, and I did not send out a single message. So that was kind of how I do it. Like some days I'll reach out, some days I just simply follow up. I am going to send out more messages later, but you get what I'm trying to say. And then another thing that I actually did today was I went back through the people that have done a host to post on Instagram for me this month. And I just basically said, like, what you're doing is what I do, except I get paid for it. Do you want info? And so this is my message for reaching out about the host to post. And then the one that I sent today that's not it, was right here. And I just kind of started sending it to people, and I was basically like, hey team, do this, but I really wasn't doing it. And I honestly kind of felt really bad. So I was like, I'm going to do that today. And I think I got over like 15 potentials, and I was like, okay. And then I only sent out 40 messages. So those odds are pretty good. I hope that answered your question though. If I left anything out, please just let me know, but that's kind of how I do everything.
I love that. I'm the same way. I work mainly on Facebook, but it's the same system. Like we get the host to post up the following month, every host to post we got up last month, we're messaging about the business because it's so simple. And a lot of teams, we're doing those cash giveaways. And so if someone wants entered to your cash giveaway, they need cash, which this business is going to give them and more than just like a one chance of winning. And so I absolutely love that. So more of an Instagram kind of question, but make sure I put my smile on real quick for your picture. But so how are you finding people on Instagram to message? I know a lot of my team specifically does work Facebook and has tried branching out, and I feel like that's typically across the board their biggest hang up. So how are you finding the people you're messaging for host to post there?
So I really feel like the biggest thing for me is I just follow people that I have things in common with. Like I'm just following people. So like I said, I'm 21. I have a boyfriend. I almost said I have a girlfriend. That would have been awkward. I have a boyfriend and I have a cat. So I'm literally just following people that are like me. They're college age. I'm not in college, but I'm college age. I am trying to follow people that are like college graduates or seniors just because I'm trying to be older, but that's fine. I don't really care. Just the college age people that are cat moms, or even if they just say like a verse in their bio, or like they're Christian, like anything that I have something in common with, I'm going to follow them. And I have a checklist that I can definitely show you guys and then send it to Mariah if you guys want to see it like in depth. But I try to follow 100 people a day, and then I also try to unfollow 100 people a day. And I say try because I'm not perfect, you guys. It does not happen every single day, but I do follow people every single day. So if I don't do one of them, it's unfollowing, if that makes sense. But I do the same thing on Facebook. I am trying to grow more of a local team. So on Facebook, you can search, I guess you can do this on Instagram too, but I'm like searching by locations, and I'm just finding people that are in my area so I can just get that kind of thing. And then randomly I'll go back to that post of mine that blew up, and I'm like, 4 spots left. So then I just friended 30 people. They're going to accept it, and it's going to be on their timeline. And I've had like these new people of mine look at that, and I'm like, yes, like I am doing it. So it's just like little things like that too. But I hope that makes sense.
Oh yeah, working smarter, not harder. I absolutely love it. I love those kind of like little tips that you don't even think is like an actual tip, but you're like, wait, a lot of people probably don't think of that. And bumping posts are huge. I love putting up one of those like that is going to get a lot of comments like late at night and not responding to anyone till the next day, and it's like they see my post twice. It's fantastic. So on Instagram, are you using the influencer application?
So I do have the influencer app in my bio. I personally just use the milkshake app. I like it. I think it's really cute. So I would definitely try it out. You can like literally customize it 110%, which I think is why I like it. So I use the milkshake app. Sounded weird, sorry. But honestly, like my host to post, I've really noticed, so I kind of like go back and forth. I have the little slides, like I'm sure probably everyone has. And one of mine said message work to blank for more info. And the other one said fill out blank's application in her bio. And I was getting more messages from work than I was getting applications. So I was like, okay. And I was like, I'll just try to switch this out. Cause I was in my head, I'm like, influencer app, but like, you don't have to use it, you guys. Like, I'm just being honest. I've had mine since September of 2018. Literally, I was going double, and I was like, let's just make this. I think this is cool. If you don't know me, I'm 110% green. So forms, literally my love language. So I literally just made one and put it in my bio, and I was like, maybe I'll get something out of this. Randomly would get an email. I still randomly get emails, and I'm like, I don't even know how these are happening, but it's fine. But I've noticed that most of the people, or some of the people that have messaged me work, are also filling out that form. So I just think, honestly, even if it's just like texting, personally, I'm totally fine with putting my number out there, but again, work smarter, not harder. If I had to like memorize someone's phone number and then like text it, no, that's too hard. Like they can literally click my name and then go to my profile, click message, and then send me work It's that simple. I will say though, I did find like a new host to post, I guess, on that I'm using on Facebook, and I tried it out yesterday, and I got like 8 texts from it. So that one said like comment me below or text info to my phone number, and the phone number like hyperlinked, I guess. So you could literally just like click it and then text me, and I was like, that worked out perfectly. So I do kind of like do different things on both, but I do use the influencer application, but I truthfully only use it to get people's phone numbers. I don't use it as like an application service or anything like that. So yeah.
I love it. So with your host posts on Instagram, do you think they message you on Instagram more frequently or text you? Like, which of that do you think works better?
I honestly think I get more messages. Like I'll just get the little like request in my message thing. I have that on. I don't know how to turn it on or off, so I'm glad that it's on. But I just use it like that. And like I said, it works really, really well for me. I'll just randomly get messages. And I do have a creator account, quote unquote. So I do have it to where people can text me from my link or from my profile. So maybe it has something to do with that. I'm not really sure, but I just kind of have it a way so they can message me, text me, email me, like whatever they want to do, because it's going to be different for everyone. But yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I always use my phone number, so I may try to switch it up a little bit and just have them message me. Okay, so what does your typical potential distributor conversation look like, start to finish? Like, I just text you, work from home, like, where are we going?
Yeah, so I'm trying, okay, there it is. I was trying to copy it on my phone, but then paste it from my computer. So that's the host post on Facebook that I've been using, and it works really well. So my conversation with using the influencer application, these are the questions I ask. So instead of saying, what do you do now? I say, oh, you're a CNA, right? Like I just plug that in. So just think about that. So I always just say, like, this is the first message and that I text them. And if they just reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, or even if they just text me, I just say this. I literally just take out that it's Chyann from the influencer app, and I send the exact same message. So I always ask if they're familiar with it. I don't know why, I just do, honestly. I think it was like Shay told me to do it, and I was like, okay. So I always have. Even if they say yes or no, I still send the same thing, unless they're like, oh yeah, I was actually in it like a couple months ago, but I quit. And then that's when I'll change the conversation, but I don't have to get too green into that side. But I just always, I always ask if they're familiar, and then I'm like, okay, this is what we do as distributors, blah, 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 blah. What do you do now? And I just like to like learn about them like as humans. And like I said, if they said that they're a CNA or they're a stay-at-home mom, and like you said, you're a stay-at-home mom, right? Or something like that. And then they're always like, oh, like I'm a teacher. I'm like, that's so awesome. And then I say like, this is a little background about me. And I basically explained why I joined and what it's been able to do for me. So automatically, if you're new and you're like, well, yeah, you're a freaking triple diamond. No, ma'am. Why did you start this business? So that was the first thing I want to say. Like, why did you start? Did you start for $200? Are you expecting a baby? Are you getting married? Do you want a new car? So many things. That's what you're going to talk about there. You're going to say like, I joined this 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, just to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm so thankful to be able to work from my phone to accomplish that. Literally, that's all you have to say. It does not have to be like super in depth or anything. And I always end that with what type of extra income would help out you and your family, because some people need like $1,000 a month. Some people only want 200. I had a girl tell me today that she'd like to make $10,000 a month. And I was like, well, we better get to work, sis, because dang. So it's like different for everyone, but just see what's going to be best for them, because then in the back of my mind, I'm figuring out their why. So let's just say in 2 weeks from now, Becky wants to quit. I'm like, don't you need $200 a month to pay for your rent? Like, sister. So just always think about that as well. And then I explain how this is like a flexible schedule type of business. It's not a clock in, clock out, sit down at a desk for 8 hours and then go home, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, so about how much time per day do you think you could do this? And I'll have some people like, I have no idea. And I'm like, well, what's your screen time on Instagram? And they're like, 8 hours. I'm like, you're ambassador. Let's go. I only spend about 4. So let's do this. So then I explain like how we make money. And I always ask if they're coachable. I maybe had 5 people tell me they're not coachable. I was like, you don't think so, but whatever. So I always ask if they're coachable, and then I explain how I train my distributors, just because again, I'm green and I want to know like the system of how everything's going to flow, even if they're not green, because I don't know at this point unless they've already asked me 1,000 questions. I just always let them know like, okay, we're going to get you started and then it's going to do this. And I just ask if that sounds good. And then I just say, this definitely feels like it would be a great fit. Do you have any other questions? And this is when, how do you get paid? Objections start coming out. It's $99 to get started. Like all of that stuff goes in. And I know this isn't really something you asked, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in there because it's something I was thinking about earlier. Don't be afraid to tell someone that their excuse is wrong. And I had that happen to me today, and the girl signed up. So I'm literally just being honest. Like I sent her the link and she was like, I don't know if I could do this. And I was like, why? She was like, well, I'm just so busy. What do you do? She's like, well, like right now I'm doing this and then this. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, okay. Like, I was like, I don't understand. I was like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I was like, you can do this. And then I ended up like sending a message, and then I sent another one just because I was like, you cannot hold yourself back. And I'll see if I can go find it real quick, just because I genuinely thought it was a good message. And I was literally making food or toast whenever I like voice to typed it. But it was just something along the lines of, I was like, I opened this spot for you because you said you were ready. I understand you being scared, and but holding yourself back isn't going to make this current situation any better. You reached out to me because you were interested in making an extra income, and that's what this outlet can do for you if you're willing to let me help you. You have to step out in fear, step out in faith, and be willing to change your life. Otherwise, your current situation's never going to change. And she was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I was like, we're all a little scared. I don't want you to think that what you're feeling is wrong. And I was like, we were all freaking out. And I just kind of went onto like one of those. And she was like, okay, I'm doing this. And then I got the notification and I was like, yes. So don't ever be afraid to just talk to them. Granted, I'm a green red, so I am a little more like with people. But something else that I shared with someone today, like even if like, I know like yellows are typically always the people that are like, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, you're helping them. Like, it's okay to be a little bit assertive and a little bit of that like fire, because like you're helping them in the end. Like, this is what they need. So it's okay to be a little bit like in their face, but not in their face at the same time. So I hope that makes sense.
I absolutely love that. I've had several of those. I have one, she's on here now. Her name's Tomoni. She's one of like my favorite people ever. And we talked for a bit about her getting started. She was like, we'll do it tomorrow. I sent her the link. She's like sending me a bunch of screenshots because she's sure she's doing the steps. So she gets the last one. She's like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm like, girl, what? Come again? And we talked through it. And she's like, well, I don't have time. I don't think I'll be good with this. I'm like, you don't have to be good at it. Like, no one's good at it. That's what I'm here for. And it's so, I almost feel like it's better when you can like aggressively tackle some of those deeper like objections at the start. Like, girl, take that pressure off. You don't got to know what you're doing. You don't got to be good at this. You don't think you have time? Cool. Send me your hourly schedule. Like, break it down. I'll find you time. Like, we're
I love
together. I absolutely love that you added that in there. Okay, let's see. So how often are you following up with people? And is there like a point in the conversation where it hits that you're like, okay, I've done my job. I'm going to step back and kind of let you come to me?
So honestly, like just being transparent with distributors, I will follow up, but I do not follow up as aggressively as I do with customers, because at the end of the day, if you have to beg someone to join, you're going to have to beg them to work. And I'm sure you guys have heard that before, but it's the God honest truth. So I follow up, like, for example, the people that I messaged today and like that my potentials today, I won't follow up with them until the 15th. So I do like every other day. And then I always look at my tracker. I just have like a generic, I say generic, it's just like a list. I have just a tracker like this because I'm weird and I like seeing it all written out. You can use a notebook paper. You don't have to have like a paper with lines and all of this and that. That's just me because, again, green. So like literally just put a piece of notebook paper like in your journal and just write their names. And I always write Becky Sue, IG, Instagram, and then next to it, it says FU, and everyone's always like, what is that? And I'm like, follow up. It stands for follow up. So like, I'll just literally tally mark my follow-ups. So I do every other day, like I said. So people today won't message until Wednesday, and then every Friday. But if they are literally just like they're not responding after, honestly, probably about 5 follow-ups, I'm not going to message them because, again, I don't want to beg them to join. If they truthfully want to join your team, they are going to join you, whether that's selling clothes or pre-selling their samples, which is something that I do. Like anything, they're going to join you. But like I said, I am never going to beg someone to stay in the business, to join my team, anything, because I'm going to have to put in 10 times more of that effort to keep them working. And I would rather just work with people that are here and truthfully want this and that motivate me to work harder, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, I'm going to walk with my walkers, run with my runners, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, please join me. Oh my God. Like, no, sister, I don't have time for that. So yeah.
I love that answer. So what do your follow-ups look like with the ones that you are before you hit your 5? Like typically like your, 2 days after or whatever, and then your weeklies, like what do those kind of look like?
Yeah, so I can definitely put a couple of them in the chat. I just have them saved. They're random things. These are the most generic ones that I use. And then I'll basically just use those, or I guess the first one, the last one, and I just kind of change them. Like most of the time I'm like, hey girl, thinking about you, like, is now a good time? Or even this one, like this is my calendar one where they're like, follow up with me on the 13th, and I'm like, okay. So I'll just change some of those, or like if they say the 13th and then 7 days later, I think it's the 20th, I don't know, I can't do math, then like if I happen to see their name, I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a week. And like I don't intentionally do that, sometimes it just happens. I say like, hey girl, you told me to follow up with you this time last week, is now a better time? Like I literally just kind of pull stuff like out of my head, and you don't have to have this super long elaborate thing. This is a follow-up that I used to use a really long time ago. I just realized that I had that in my text replacement. I really like that one. That one has signed me so many distributors in the past, and then I lost it, and then I found it when I was cleaning out my notes one day, and I was like, there it is. So those are a little bit of the follow-ups that I use. And then when we have like deals and stuff, I'll send things like that and obviously change it whenever we're talking about the deal. But that's obviously like a social media message. And then if I do have their number, I just say, like text me back ready and I'll get your spot secure or something along those lines.
I absolutely love that. So it's not something we talked about before, but you mentioned it. I want to know some about your pre-selling samples. That's something my team right now, we're hitting super duper hard. Like we're pushing that a lot. So how are you guys kind of structuring that? What are you doing with your girls to kind of, get them started that way?
Yeah, so I can definitely send you kind of like a breakdown of everything. I'm sure I probably have it somewhere in my computer. But obviously Jade Hooper is like my way above upline. And she basically was like, hey, do you want to do a Zoom tonight? And I was like, sure. It literally never told me what it was until 15 minutes beforehand. And it was about pre-selling samples. And I was like, I've never done this before. And she was like, that's fine. And I was like, oh my gosh. And you know me, I'm green. And hearing that, I was like, what am I gonna do? I was freaking out. So she gave me this huge thing of just like stuff to literally read off of, like a script and everything. And it was so freaking good. I knew I had this in here. I was like, I know I can find this whole script somewhere. So I can send it in the chat for you guys. And then I can also just text you the little, pictures that I have as well, just because I do have them post on their story, but it's basically just them doing like a literal post on their Facebook, and if they want to do on their Instagram, they can. This is not pasting, so if I need to text this to you later, I can. But regardless, I just have them do a post, and then I have them post up on their story. Anyone that says yes, I have a message for that, and then I also have them reaching out to people as well, and then it's like a said yes message, and then like the information you need, and then great, like I'll thank you so much for the support, I'll text you next week whenever I get it shipped out. And if you're like me, you're like, well, what happens if like homegirl just takes the money and run? That's not my karma. That's her karma. I'm doing all I can. Like, control what you can control, sister. And another thing, I will have people that do not sell all 6 samples. So I can't get this in here for some reason, so I'll have to text it to you, but it's fine. I will have people that do not sell all 6 samples or all 7 or anything, but they at least get like 2 or 3. So I'm like, that's still like 3 is like $60, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait a second. So that basically, like, it makes it cheaper to join. So I just say, like, it's a way to join, like, for free, or just to make your investment smaller. And then they still have those samples, like the remainder ones, that they can make their profit back. And they can obviously always sell more after that to then make a profit. I have probably 6 or 7 girls that have done that. And I know it's like doesn't seem like a lot, but it's like the ones that do it, they work. Like they are literally working before their information is in eSuite. So those are always like the best people. And I've had it, like I said, I've had like a couple of them, and those are going to be like my OG lifers in the future. Like they're such hard workers. So that's something we've been doing as well.
Yeah, I was the same. I was scared of it. I was like you said, with the whole karma, I was like, what if like all these people just steal money? Like, what's gonna happen? But
Yeah.
the girls I signed up by selling samples, like, oh my gosh, totally different caliber, because they have to like. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm great at signing customers. But like, don't ask me to go sell samples. Like, don't be like, hey, sell $100. I'm gonna freeze. Like, that's not my strong suit. But you got these girls who are like busting tail to do something harder than signing customers. Then they get in and they're like, oh yeah, I got this. And when I post the recording, guys, in the chat, I will add all of the scripts. So you guys will get those from the one she sends me and the one she's already put in the chat, just so you guys know. Okay, so you kind of touched on it a little bit a few minutes ago, but how do you keep all of your potential distributors organized and all of that?
So like I said, I do use this tracker, and that also has like my customers and everything on that as well. Literally, I kid you not, like this is so funny. I literally thought about this at like 4 a.m. like a couple of days ago, and I was like, let's use the Connect app. Like I've never done that before. So I started using the Connect app, and I figured out the science behind it, and I have my Facebook potentials in there. And like I said, I try to get everyone's phone number off of Instagram. So on this potential, I do, like it does say, here, I hope you guys can see this. So it'll say like Facebook, felt like a hashtag, Facebook, IG. So all of the ones that are in Facebook, I'll plug their name, and then my phone numbers obviously, but I'll plug their names into Connect that night. So then once I'm doing follow-ups with them, I can literally just go and like plug in the script, plug in their name, blah, 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 send. And then I just pick, like, I just go through it and I'm like, okay, that's an Instagram one. I'll go message her. So I kind of do it like that. But I do write them all down. And like I said, I try to keep them in the Connect app just because like it honestly just kind of makes life a little easier. And I also have like folders. So it says like July 2020 PDTs. And then like at the end of this month, I'm going to delete that because I have them all like here. But I don't need July's PDTs for the rest of my life. I just need them as potential distributors. So I hope that makes sense.
Right. I absolutely love that. And oh goodness gracious, I should have wrote down the question. I thought of another one, but if I remember it, we'll come back. So how do you train and launch your new distributors?
So what I personally do, I don't know if this is something that you guys do, but it's something that Shay recently, well, I say recently, it's been quite a bit, but we do like a 5-day training breakdown, and it has literally changed my entire business for me. So like I said, it is like a 5-day breakdown, and I'm also in the process of sending you this sample thing. So I'm going to stop before I get distracted. So I just wanted to write this down for you guys. This is what my 5 days are broken down into. So the first day is like getting their tax forms, adding me on Facebook and Instagram, team pages, shopping spree, color test, welcome video, and then I do a FaceTime with them. And the FaceTime is basically just me kind of saying like, hi, I'm a real person. There is a face behind the screen. I get to know them. I literally just ask them about their lives, and I literally write it down on sticky notes so they can't see. I'm over here with like a pen, and I'm just like literally writing but staring at them because I don't want to forget. And I'm like, baby Liam. I'm like writing down stuff because I just don't want to forget. But I just want to make sure that I like know these people because they are your team. They're going to become your best friends, your family, etc. So I was like, where was I going with that? But this. And then I also have them do the color test because, again, I'm super into the colors. So if you are not a color personality person, don't do that. Like Shay, my enroller, Chyann Knox, and she's not a big fan of the color personality, so she does not have that in her training. I think the color personalities are like 110% useful because I'm so into them. So I hope that makes sense. But if I know someone's color, I know how to train them. And that's from watching other trainings and just personally diving so deep into the color personalities that I just understand them. So I will somewhat train people a little bit differently based on their color, but it's simply just because it's who they are. Like, I don't follow this verbatim word for word because I just want to make sure it fits them. So on the FaceTime, I will ask them if they're comfortable reaching out to family. And if they say no, I have them start on post to post. Something that I actually tried today was I had her send the actual dirt list message to people on Facebook and Instagram. And that worked pretty well too, because I know that message is like for family only, but she sent it to her friends that are on her Instagram. So it worked out the same way. So I just kind of break it up like that, like just see what's going to fit for them. And I always explain to them, I do not want you to get discouraged. People are probably not going to respond. Like, every single person is not going to respond to you. This is simply just to get you used to working the business, just so they understand, like, okay, I'm not going to have high expectations, which I don't mean that in a rude way or anything, but let's just say everyone responds, everyone signs up. Like, there you go, you know. But if not everyone responds and not everyone signs up, she's okay. And she's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm not made for this, and have a freak out moment. So then I explain samples, follow-ups, introduce them to co-sponsors. The next day is like posting 101. So getting their first post up, explaining why we post, getting a product post up, or at least prepared for the next day, getting them into my story albums, things like that. And then the last day is getting them familiar with the 6 list, sending them my checklist. So this is like my checklist that I do. And I made like a new DT version of that, because sending this to a new distributor, they would probably crop their pants. So I just basically like condensed it in a way that would fit a new distributor. And it has like a spot for their ID number and their website, because that's something you don't forget. And I'm just, you know, being weird, and then I just get them entered into my chats and stuff, just so they do have that community as well. And I also just like let them know about that and everything. But that's how I train everyone in a nutshell.
I absolutely love all of your charts. I'm so like anti-green. I'm just like fangirling over all of your systems. They're amazing. Okay, so I remembered my question, but I know you said it on Instagram, but I know it's a big thing with Facebook and everyone getting in Facebook jail and all of that craziness. The fact that you get their phone number from Instagram, get them straight to your phone, so you know if your Instagram gets shut down, you have that resource still. If you're in Facebook jail, you still have those contacts. So how are you handling the conversation to get them from social media to your phone?
So, I mean, like, I just genuinely ask, yeah, I'll definitely send you the DT tracker also, Mariah. But I just basically ask, like, the same way that you would ask a customer if you can have their phone number, I just say the same thing. Like, are you familiar with network marketing? And like, I'll do it in the middle of the conversation, like in the most random spots. So it's not, hi, are you familiar? No. Okay, great. What's your phone number? Because that's going to make you sound like a literal robot. So I just ask them, like, they'll just say, like, oh, I'm a CNA. And I'm like, awesome. I'm like, do you mind if I get your phone number? My phone's acting weird. Like, literally just like send something to be able to get their phone number. But the thing is if you think it's weird, they're going to think it's weird, because that was my biggest struggle. And if Shay was on here, she would probably be laughing, because she would always tell me, give people's phone numbers. And I'm like, I would never give my phone number to a random person on Instagram. Like, never. And she was like, well, just ask. And so I would ask and no one would respond to me. And I was like, it's because I think it's weird. Like I'm some network marketing. Oh my gosh. Like attraction, like all of that kind of stuff. Like, if my vibe is off, their vibe's going to be off. So no, if you think getting their phone number is weird, do not ask them. Keep them on social media. I will try, like, obviously you have their names written down, and typically, like, most people, like this girl, for example, her name is pike.lily. I know her name is Lily Pike. So if I needed to get her on Facebook or on, like, vice versa, I could search her name and hopefully find her that way if my Facebook or Instagram freaked out. But that's kind of how I do it that way too.
I love it. So simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just do it. Okay, so what are any last tips you have for us to help us sign all of the distributors when we get off here?
You're totally fine. So the biggest thing I would say, you guys, is like, you just have to be confident. Like, my story of mentally changing myself into a mass DT enroller literally came when I had just gone Emerald. And I'm just being honest with you guys, Shay stopped placing stuff underneath me. And I was like, hey, hello. And she was like, girl, like you're an emerald, you're going diamond, you can do it yourself. And I was like, no, I was like, I don't want to do it. But like, what did I want more, So basically, like, I just had to learn how to do it and like do the things. And like, I don't even mean that in like a bad way or anything. Like, you just have to do the things. And like, it is literally your mindset, you guys. Last month, like, I enroll 15 plus DTs every single month except June 2020. I don't know what the heck got into my head last month, but I did not enroll 15 plus DTs, and I was killing myself over it. I was like, I was talking so terrible to myself at that time, but we're over that and everything. And I've literally already signed 4 DTs this month. It literally is your mindset. I was doing all the same things. I'm just being more intentional. My confidence is here. I know that I can enroll DTs. And like, you just have to be like excited and just like excited to talk about life. I personally don't use TikTok. I am literally 3% blue. Absolutely not. Scares the absolute life out of me. I have like 8 videos and like 7 of them are of my cat. So not a TikTok person. TikTok's awesome. It's not for me, sis. So not for me. So, but yeah, but it's like basically just your confidence. Like if you're excited, if you're like just, like all into it, they're going to be into it as well. And like I said, you just kind of have to be willing to talk to people and just be willing to like, okay, yeah, like I understand you're scared, but like, no, let's just do it anyway. And then like, once you have people on your team, you cannot be afraid to lead them. Like, regardless of what color you are, you have to lead your team. Like the moment you have like a DT or even a customer, you are a leader. Treat your team as a leader, treat yourself as a leader, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And then honestly, the last thing I would say is just like back to like you guys, like don't use your why as an excuse. Like you joined this business for a reason. And there are so many times, and especially now and literally with our world like going up in flames, that people are like, I'm just busy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, why did you join this business? Always get people back to their why, because once you have their why, you know why they joined the business. And like, to me, and like if you're talking to yourself and like honestly just again being transparent, like after I hit triple, I was like, I don't know what I want. And I was like, I have like everything a 21-year-old could imagine. Okay. I was like, I'm making 5 figures a month, I have my own house, I have an awesome cat, like I travel all the time, like literally I don't need anything else in life. And she was just like talking to me and she was like, what do you not want? And I was like, ooh, that one hit. And so it was like, what do I not want to have, And I know it's kind of like, I don't know like the right word for that, but like it scares you, but like use that like feeling of like, holy crap, and literally make the fire like run to you, because that is what made me switch my mindset from literally not even maintaining triple at the end of last year to making a 5-figure double diamond paycheck a couple months later. 5-figure double diamond paycheck. I want you to hear, you guys. Cabs are your best friend once you go diamond. Insert income disclosure statement. But yes, so find out or like just think about what you don't want. Like, I mean, like for me, like I don't want to have to go back to a job and have someone tell me what to do. I don't want to have to go back to school. I don't want to have my new car taken away or like get evicted. Like those are like big things. And like, I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to work my butt off so that those things don't happen. And also once you like are a leader, it can't be about you anymore. Cause like, I am hardly ever motivated to work. I am being 110% honest. I do not think motivation is a real thing. It's discipline. I do not wake up so excited at 6:00 in the morning, ready to go get 500 host to post up. Absolutely not. I literally stay in bed until about 10 o'clock. So that's a different story, but it's like, you just have to be disciplined. So it's like, wait, like just discipline. That's like the biggest thing I could say. Like I said, I have a checklist. This is done every single night before I go to bed. And if it's not done, I do not go to sleep. I sacrifice a couple hours that I could go and play Xbox, honestly, because that's what I like to do in my pastime. And I work my business, and then I take that day of Sabbath for myself once a week to just like, okay, getting my sleep on. Literally the last 3 times I've taken a Sabbath, I've literally slept for over 12 hours a night. And I'm like, that is literally my body saying rest. So it's fine. Like work your butt off and take that day of rest and literally just sleep and then connect with the Lord, get recharged, and just come back like 10 out of 10. So I know that was a lot of last minute tips, but that's basically everything I could leave you guys with.
It was amazing. I'm not going to hear any complaints. And I love that what you said about like knowing your why. And then if you don't have one, to know what you don't want. I was like the total opposite. When I got started, I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. And so I ran from things. And I just ran as fast and as hard as I could from all of this. And then I got to the place where I got to decide what I then wanted. And so if you don't know what your why is, figure out what your why not is. Like, what do you not want to have? What are you going to run from? What do you want to, like, what chains do you need to break in your family, and run from it, and then reevaluate and get some new goals. But
you're for sure going to get new goals once you get into that spot. Because like now, like there are literally things on my dream board that I'm like, oof, like, oh my God. But you just kind of have to hit that point of just like, okay, it's fine. What am I running from? Exactly like Mariah said. And then like, you're going to think about it. Cause like, I literally did not want a new car in January, and come June, or actually May, I literally bought a new car, and now it's on my dream board to pay it off by the end of the year. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So literally it's just doing all the things. And I'll send that checklist to Mariah also for all of you guys asking, just so she can share it with you, because there's a lot on there and I really don't want to have to go read through everything. So yeah.
That's totally cool. Perfect. Girl, thank you so much for hopping on here. It's always so much fun when I have you on, and you always have so much wisdom and so many tips. And so we're so thankful for your time tonight.
Of course, thank you guys for having me.
Of course. So as you guys know, we're not going to hop off the Zoom and go feel good about ourselves. We're going to go get to work. So I want you guys to go follow up with 10 more potential distributors, go get some more hosts to post up, get to work, get some stuff done. And I hope you all have just an absolutely fantastic night.